I've been on the Wirral. That's where I got the handbags this summer. Yeah. And I've been in the Isle of Man, and I go to charity shops wherever I go, just because I enjoy doing it. I even got the most beautiful, beautiful leather briefcase. I mean, it must have been over £100 worth of briefcase, for £10.
Really?
I mean, it is absolutely... I mean, I can't even use it because I'm not an executive. Do you know what I mean? It's a black... And my sons, they're not into quite that sort of thing now. Their portfolios, aren't they, and things have changed. They don't actually carry black leather suitcases.
No, well, a lot of us are into shoulder bags now,
Shoulder bags, yes, and carrying your computer case, your computers and all that sort of thing.
Yes, it's a messy business.
Things are all changing, but... Mum's always got anything anybody wants, if you know what I mean. It's hidden away in this fantastic place that I live in.
I know Crossley Green.
You do?
Yes, it's near Watford, isn't it?
It is, yes. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. God.
Very, very pretty.
Sorry?
It's very pretty.
Very pretty. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah. You're very lucky.
I've been in Crossley Green for 40 years, Mike.
Have you?
I have.
Wow.
I came to London when I was 21. You can work out how old I am now. Very nearly.
So you were born in the year of the wood rooster?
I'm not quite sure what year it was. The same year as one of your others on your show. I don't know what talkSPORT. I love listening to the one that chats on about the Wirral. It's lovely for me, all about Port Sunlight and everywhere else. It's fantastic.
Oh, there's some real characters that turn up as part of the audience, and they become really almost like connected friends, don't they?
Yes.
Good to talk to you. Thanks very much, Elsie. We were talking about hiring clothes, and when it comes to, as Elsie pointed out, a wedding, you're going to pay a fortune for a hat, but you're never going to wear again, because the next time there's a wedding, you say, I can't wear that again because that's what I wore last time. Now, here's something which you might want to comment on. Accident and emergency and maternity units in the NHS are to be axed, A-X-E-D, says the new chief executive in his first interview. David Nicholson, the man responsible for leading implementation of reforms, said there would be up to 60 reconfigurations of the NHS services, affecting everyone's rations of NHS. Some changes will try to squeeze out overcapacity that's contributed to the NHS's £512 million deficit in the last financial year, but most will be aimed at redesigning the NHS to improve care by concentrating key services in fewer hospitals. My question to you is, how let down do you feel by this? This is completely unacceptable. This reeks of bad management. There must be a message you'd like to send. 08704 20 20 20. Pauline is in Sutton, which is in Surrey. Hello, Pauline.
Hello, good morning, Mike.
How are you?
I called M.A., and can I call you Ma for short? I thought of that earlier.
Oh.
Ma.
If Ma...
Sounds very posh, doesn't it?
Ma?
Mike Allen, Ma.
Oh, yeah.
Your initials.
Yes, I know.
Before I talk on my topic, you know the gentleman who phoned up regarding he's better off on the dole?
Yes.
Well, he'd probably get help with his council tax and housing benefit as it's calculated according to his earnings. And he will be better off because I've helped people who had no idea that if they're working, that probably a low wage, that he'll probably get part of it paid or all of it according to what he's earning.
Yes, there are people that are in a position where they sort of fall through a crack. Do you know that?
Yeah, and they don't know.
They don't know. And
they're right. They don't know, and I've helped a lot of people by talking to them in shops, and they thanked me after because they had no idea how they were struggling, and it was according to what they earned, and they got all or part of it paid.
Yeah.
So that would be a bit of advice because it'd be better for himself to work.
Because not everybody you speak to has been helped properly by the people in that department.
When he signs on, that all the people or people who collect their money and benefits should be handed out at post offices. I know they get them by banks now, but there should be information. This is my idea. That should be given out where they get their money and when they sign on. It should be given to them because there are people that fall through the net. Don't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, I would like to talk about these $750,000 in the mortgage arrears. I think if it eventually comes to losing one's home, it would be very difficult to rehouse these people in certain areas. And there's just no houses. The land's getting used up, and it opens, a whole can of worms. All these problems what they're creating.
What's your message to John Prescott?
Well, we want to know more. You hear it when it's sort of on the news several months ago and even last year.
Yes.
We want updates of where these places are going to be built, because you think of your children's future. They've got mortgages now, but the grandchildren and the others, where are they going to get? And with the high influx of more Europeans allowed to come in, where are they going to house these people? And because a lot of them on low wages probably won't afford mortgages, there just isn't the houses available, and we don't want the green belts.
No, because the part of the world you're in, Sutton...
expensive.
Yes.
One of the most expensive.
You've got plenty of green space there. Well,
yes,
I seem to recall it when I went through there last.
Yeah, we have.
And you don't want to lose it, do you?
No, but it's not only that high influx, it affects hospitals, schools, everything, and you want the lovely areas. I mean, I grew up in Yorkshire, Harrogate, on the outskirts, beautiful, and I absolutely adore the country. And soon we won't be a green and pleasant land. It will be just, as they say, that song, ticky boxes everywhere.
Oh,
like,
yes.
Do you remember that song?
It's all made out of ticky-tacky.
Ticky-tacky. And I think we'll lose our identity, as it's really, when you think, if we had the hot sunny weather, when I've been abroad 4 times in the last year, but when you think of it, our country is the most beautiful in the way due to the climate. It's got beautiful areas, the lakes, Wales, Scotland, Peak District, Suffolk, Norfolk, all around there. It's absolutely stunning, and the diversity of the landscape, and and the buildings, the heritage, and I wouldn't want it spoilt, because I think it's beautiful. I've travelled and lived all over this country due to work. After leaving the orphanage, I've had to move about a bit.
Yes.
And I've probably lived in about 100 odd or more different places. And I see that a lot of it's being eroded.
Well, it's been very nice to have a chat with you, Pauline. Next time I come through Sutton, I'll give a little toot. You'll have to trust me that it's me. I not only offer this to you, Pauline, but also to Jenny and everyone else who's sitting waiting, that there are £100 fines intended for you if you put out extra rubbish. So you'll have your green bin, and you can put that out, and that's entirely for you. Put out an extra bag, and they'll nick you for fly tipping and charge you £100 just for putting it out. When does it end? When do we stop being held to ransom? It's not the adults, it's not the kids, it's everybody. Thanks once again, Pauline. Right. Jamie Oliver is trying to change school dinners. Why? This is from Ian, who's in the Midlands. Hello, Ian. My generation, said Ian, ate the same delicious muck, and we were anything but obese. The issue is exercise and convenience foods. Exercise and convenience foods. What about smaller portions? That wouldn't be too bad, would it? Let's have a quick chat with Jenny. Hello, Jenny.
Hi, Mike.
Hi.
Sorry to change the mood, but I think this country's going to hell in a handcart, or wheelie bin, as you just now said.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? They're going to charge you £100 just to put an extra plastic bag out.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to do with my neighbours, because most of them are on the dole, and they have about 25 bags outside every perishing week. So that'd be good, wouldn't it? It's like Gary, Pauline seems to think, you need some help and everything. Well, I don't. I'm absolutely gobsmacked by what that creature said. I mean, I know he was just trying to wind us up, but to think that he thinks we're going to sit and pay our taxes for him not to work. I mean, I cannot believe that. And I'm not too sure that he's telling the truth, because I thought unless you had a dependent like a child, and that's not possible because he's not a chick, he can't possibly have had a child. How the hell is he claiming? I thought they had some kind of... I don't know, because I've never been on the dole, and I don't intend to be, but I mean, he said something about he was remaining on the dole. He had a job at some time or other. But I thought they had job seekers allowance for 6 months, and then they had to go and take jobs. Or do they just go to interviews and say, oh, you know, they make themselves certain that they're not suitable so that they don't get the jobs? I don't know. But I just thought that was just taking the verbal, you know what, because that was unbelievable what he said. I mean, that means that you, John, myself, everybody else is paying taxes for him to sit at home. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, but then, you know, you should also say, by the same token, unbelievable by the government department that put him in a position where he makes more money by not going to work.
Absolutely. Exactly, Mike. And if Flash Gordon thinks he's going to be the leader of this country, then he better sort of, you know, think about it and do something about this.
Who's this, Gordon Brown?
Yeah.
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
Do you think he will be?
Well, I don't care, because I wouldn't vote that way anyhow. I did once, but I mean, they're now champagne socialists. They're not socialists out there. I mean, both Blair and himself are, you know, they're certainly not, you know, they're not so weird. They said that they weren't going to use the word. It was, you know, the S word was a dirty word. So they call themselves New Labour, but they're certainly not socialists. So I at one time was a socialist, but no, to answer your question, I don't know. I mean, if it is a coronation, I think it's terribly wrong, because I think, unlike the Tories, that at least the activists, you know, the grassroots people do get a vote. I know this. But in Labour you don't. So they're... people that are running around on the doorstep for them, they don't get a vote at all, which is disgusting. But no, I don't know.
They don't get a vote?
No. No, Labour, no. Absolutely. Well, I've worked for both sides, and we certainly get a vote. The Conservatives will give all grassroots people a vote. We voted in the last election. So,
so you're saying...
I'm not saying that they're any better, because I'm not that happy with... Personally, I'm not that happy with Cameron. Didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Davis either. But, you know, to answer your question, I don't know if it's going to be a straight coronation, and that's disgusting. I think they should have, at least among the backbenchers, they should have a choice. I don't know.
Jenny, thank you very much. Thank you. Interesting selection of calls this morning. We've got another 60 minutes before Alan Brazil gets here. Yeah. So I think we could talk a little bit about you and your wheelie bin. Yeah, your green wheelie bin that you had the rubbish in. Well, if you put anything out, an extra bag, it's going to be £100 fine. Extraordinary, isn't it? This is going to be so popular with the bin men, because they're just burning up the chances of getting a decent tip at Christmas. What decent tip at Christmas? You didn't take the rubbish, and you left that bin liner there, and it cost me £100, and then you did it again, and it cost me... So at the end of the year, you'd probably done £1,000 in payment fines for left-out bin bags. Sounds like a system to me. 08704 20 20 20. I'm Mike Allen. You're listening to talkSPORT. We were talking with a couple of callers just a short while back about people who are unemployed. If you've any experience of that yourself, would you reveal just how difficult it is to get looked after by people that are, in truth, employed especially just to do that focus point? 08704 20 20 20. 08704 20 20 20.
1089 and 1053 AM.
The most deeply held principles
around the world.
Not kneeling on our knees.
Around the clock.
It was never meant to be negotiation.
From the Sky News Centre. talkSPORT on the Hour News.
The top stories from the Sky News Centre at 5.
On 1089 and 1053 AM. Talk Sport.
We were talking to a couple of callers this past hour about unemployment and people's views on the situation. One would need a government document to give an accurate assessment for every situation, because they do as a natural variance between them. But here's something which is from Chris in Glasgow, and it might help. It says, Mike, I was in and out of rotten jobs for years and suffered the indignity of unemployment. I chose to return to university as a mature student in my 30s, and I start my 3rd year in psychology soon. Running up more debt? It isn't easy. But I got fed up being patronised by people I had no respect for. It's all very well for our politicians to tell us what we should do to better ourselves, while most of them had their education funded by the state.
We were brought up that we wanted to live in clean surroundings. People don't feel that anymore, particularly when they come in. They don't care about what the street looks like, where they move into, because it's far better than where they've come from. And I'm not talking about only people that come into the country. I'm talking about people who claim our social benefits. Surely they could be given community service, at least to do something. At least to do jobs that these councils can't afford to pay. At least it would be giving something back to the community. This government penalise you if you work. My husband, if we're late with our VAT, you're charged a penalty. If you don't pay taxes on time, you're charged a penalty. If you run a car in this country, what do? They slap all these excess prices on you, penalties on you for parking.
You sound so despondent. Speeding. You sound so despondent. I mean,
I'm just really despondent with this country, Mike.
Yeah. Where would you like to go?
Somewhere that recognises that we're prepared to work hard and give something back to the country.
Have you thought about going to Australia?
Not necessarily. I just think it's sad that I've got to leave my children and my family.
Well, you don't have to.
I'm approaching 60, but...
Well, you can take them with you.
Well, no, they set their sights here, and they work. They're very hard working, and they pay they pay taxes. One of my sons is a fireman. The other one is trying to build up a successful business. So it's not so easy for them to just pack up. But if they wanted to do that, why should we have to leave our children?
Well, there's obviously nothing you like here.
No, there isn't. Since this government's been in, they've got it so wrong. So wrong. I mean, how do you feel about it? The fact that you have to work.
Well, I have to work. Well,
middle of the night to pay tax, for somebody to sit on this programme and say to you that he gets benefits for not doing anything.
Well, I can understand it, and I tell you for why. Because when you take income support, they pay that to you, income support, if you're not holding down the job. Hold down a job which could pay, let's say, half of what the income support is paying out, and they take away the income support. So you don't have to be very bright to realise that it's not in your best interest to take a job. You just live on the insects of... No, but I'm not... I'm just saying to you.
That isn't what I'm saying at all.
No,
what I'm saying to you is... Because I don't blame that man. But what I'm saying to you is that the system that we're in is wrong. I'll give you an instance. When I was 40 years old, I tried to go and do a course at one of our local colleges. I was the only white person in the class. I didn't have a problem with that because they were lovely people. I was the only one paying for the course. We're the same with our children. Why do our children, if they want to go out and better themselves, why have they got to get into so much debt? That's another thing. Do you know, I went to get my eyes tested a few months ago, and the optician said to me, I said, I don't know, how do these people, when they claim benefits, in the Isle of Wight actually, which is quite a low populated workforce, and he said, I'm sick. He said, I had a lady come in the other day. She had a couple of kids. She said she'd broke up with her husband for whatever reason. They'd given her a new house because she said that he was violent. or whatever it was, whatever the reason was. She came in, she got all their eyes tested, hers and her children's, and she said, you know what, she said, the social services had said to her, she said, I can't move because I haven't got certain things to move in a house with my kids, you know, fridge.
Who said this?
Fridge, washing machine, or whatever.
No, who said this?
This lady said this to the optician.
All right.
Only a young lady. There's a lot of unmarried mothers over there as well, you know. And he said, I'm so sick, he said, because she said to me, they told her to go to the local electrical shop to get some quotes for all these things that she needs, and it came to £3,000. So she gave them, the social services, the list how much all these electrical goods was going to be, so that she could move into the house to house her children, you know, which is fair enough. They sent her the cheque for the £3,000. She said she went home, looked through the local paper, and bought all these bits second-hand, and she just booked herself a holiday in Florida to take the kids with the money that was left over. He said to me, what on earth am I working here for? He said, I work here till 7 and 8 o'clock at night sometimes, when I get somebody in that talks like that and I can't do a thing about it. So you tell me that's right.
Well, I'm not here to sit in judgment, but I thank you for telling me the story, and if anyone listening would like to respond, then pick up the phone and call me. My number's 08 704 20 20 20. 08 704 20 20 20. This is talkSPORT.
The radio station for men who know how to treat a lady.
I will take you on an unforgettable journey.
Oh, fancy, how nice.
On slap-up meal at the Hotel de Poche DAB digital radio, or a bag of soggy chips in a motorway service station game zone.
Oh, men.
1089 and 1053 AM.
Hello. Come in.
talkSPORT.
The list in compilation is on the way. We're looking for you to supply nominations for the UK Hall of Fame, the Musical Hall of Fame. Well, one here, actually, from Chris in Glasgow. He says, welcome back. Bands from the UK Hall of Fame: Radiohead, The Jam, The Manic Street Preachers, Black Lace, is that Bobby Don't Be a Hero, and The Flying Pickets. These bands have class written all over them. But how big are the letters, we should be told. Thanks very much for that, Chris. And also in this morning's nominations, the Geordie band Lindisfarne is surely got to be in Music's Hall of Fame. Maybe I'm just biased, though. This is some big Geordie. And Mike Hall of Fame, Paul Rogers. No one, claims this person, has fronted so many big bands: Free, Bad Company, Firm, and even Queen. Stuart Barnsley. Went to see Terry Reid tonight. Brilliant. Terry Reid, super lungs. That's right. Knew I knew it. Right. Unemployment and health issues capture people's imagination today. The plan being unveiled on the front page of The Guardian says there's a wave of closures of NHS services. They're trying to save more than 500 million quid. It wasn't that long ago that they got 350 million quid off the taxpayer, so what's, there's got to be something wrong. You just can't throwing money at something and it goes wrong. There must be something wrong. 08704 20 20 20. Let's talk about unemployment. Let's talk to Lee in Stansted. Hello, Lee, you're on talkSPORT.
Good morning, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Just a couple of points I'd just like to raise. One thing that I think people should remember is the whole unemployment benefit system was introduced to basically help all of us as a safety net when we do hit hard times or when we have got problems. I mean, I've been unemployed myself when I was younger, and it really helped me. But I think where we've gone wrong is that, and a couple of ladies before have made the point, is that it then becomes an issue about people using that system and abusing it to a degree, I suppose, in as much as...
But I think it's also, because Lee, you touched on the point, it's there as a safety net to help us.
Exactly, yeah.
But when you get people who are in their 50s...
Yeah.
And they're on the job seekers allowance...
Yeah.
But when they come and hit 60... They come off the job seekers allowance because
pension,
because there's no way they're going to get a gig.
No, fair enough. But we're not talking about 50s, are we? We're talking about young people, majority the people that we have an issue or that I see a problem with are the younger people who are not motivated to get a job, who are comfortable living on the benefit system and use that benefit system to their advantage.
Well, you're always going to find somebody, whatever system you've got, is going to abuse it. But
of course you are, but the problem being, sorry to interrupt you, the problem being is the two things I see is one, that what we've got to remember as a working society, if you like, is that one, that they'll never have, the thing that working gives you is choice, and they'll never have a choice. And for all of people that say, oh yeah, it's great living on the dole, the downside to that is that you are stuck in a place where you can't move from, and you're limited in your choices, as in that you'll have a limited income. When you're working, you've got choice.
And when you're working, a relationship seems to be a lot more fun. When you're not working, a relationship is nothing but a pain in the butt.
Well, it's because you're with each other 24 hours a day, and
absolutely,
you've got no interest outside. Well, apart from I suppose going down the off licence, you haven't got a great deal of interest. But
and you can't get up and down there too often either.
No, exactly. But the problem I feel with this Labour government, and I agree, I run a small business as well.
Mm-hmm.
I employ people. I'm very fortunate. I employ a lot of very good people, and I've interviewed people from the job centre, and a lot of good. I don't tie everyone on the same brush. Some people that come to me from the job centre are very. I'm just unfortunate. I sound really snobby now. I mean.
No, they get a bad break. It just happens.
Yeah, exactly. And they've had, a bit of bad luck, and they've gone to a job that hasn't worked out, and they've ended up. And employers can be very judgmental as well, in as much as that they make decisions based on people's past that they, as you say, may have had a bad break, or things don't work out a particular job, or something's happened at home, and they've had a couple of jobs in the last year, and suddenly they become unemployable. But what I do agree with is, and 100%, is that after a while, after a minimum term of, say, 6 months unemployed, you should then start working for your benefits. Even if it's just 2 days a week doing some sort of community work within the council or anywhere, at least put something back. I think what we have in the Labour government, who have been called a lot of things this morning, is they are very into giving people money for no good reason. I mean, I receive family tax credit, and I really don't get it. I don't understand family tax credit. But what I do understand is I get taxed more now, so what they're giving back to me, they've taken away probably more in another way anyway.
So secretly you do understand it.
All right, secretly, yeah, you're right, I do. But what I mean is...
I understand.
I don't understand the point behind it.
It seems an unnecessary level.
Yeah.
Exactly. Lee, thank you. It's good to talk to you. We're talking about unemployment. We're talking about the deal that's handed out to people who are unemployed. Because there seems to be this massive lack of compassion. Why would that be? I don't know. Hayden's in Edinburgh. Hello, Hayden. Good morning. Welcome to talkSPORT.
Hi there. Good morning.
Good morning.
I've got a couple of points, really. I was listening to the lady earlier who said how outraged she was that there were so many people claiming benefits. I think that's fair enough up to a point. Obviously, some people do abuse the system, but you also have to look at sort of the global benefit of that and how many genuine people there are looking for jobs, obviously. But one thing that actually frustrates me greatly is that people always whinge about, jobless and poor people claiming benefits, but they don't whinge about rich people claiming benefits. I mean, the Duke of Westminster, for example, is reputed to earn millions every year off the Common Agricultural Policy.